speaking of
Spoopy
folklore creatures
Yeah.
and blood, Werewolves Within was definitely a movie that happened.
All right, so let me pull up information about it, because I definitely should have had that, but I was distracted by stupid
Football.
memes online. No memes online. I sent you a couple of good ones. Werewolves Within came out in 2021. It stars Sam Richardson and Milana Vaintrub and George Basil and Sarah Burns and Wayne Duvall.
It's a wicked low-budget movie.
It's directed by Josh Rubin. It's written by Mishna Wolf. I don't know any of these people, really.
Based off of a VR game, which is wacky.
Which is basically just Mafia, but in VR.
Which makes sense.
Yep, it does.
It is weird to make that like a
movie?
a fixed narrative, like that doesn't have choices in it or whatever, but...
Right. This didn't tickle the taint.
It definitely didn't tickle my taint, but it wasn't like painful either.
You were enjoying it more than I was.
That is true.
When I was scoring it on my Letterboxd, it got pretty close to Abigail on the list.
Abigail's that low?
I think it had the same style of humor,
Yes.
and that style of humor doesn't tickle the taint for me.
Abigail's way better than that. For one.
No, Abigail is better on my list, but it's close by. Same with Bodies. It's just the...
I think you're being a bit of a silly boy, but you know, go off, Queen.
The biggest complaint I had was that there were clear stretches where actors were told to ad-lib, and they're talking over each other, and having a very small, faint background in stage performance, we were told the same thing, and we did what these characters did in the movie of just talking bullshit over each other so that it turns into nothingness, and we were corrected for it and be like, no, it's still like a tennis match. You don't turn your ears off and just spew out the mouth. You still have a conversation, but you ad-lib it and try to make it somewhat coherent.
Another really good example of a mystery movie set in one-ish location that features that sort of dialogue would be a Knives Out. It is a lot of tennis back and forth, like very naturalistic dialogue, also extremely politically relevant.
Oh, I thought you were saying the bad version.
No, I mean like what it's trying to do of like, you can make it very, holy shit, there's so many people talking over each other, but it also still makes sense.
It makes sense.
This was very like cluttered in the audio mix.
And especially in Knives Out, there's moments of pandemonium where like the lights cut out or whatever, and people are freaking out and talking over each other, and there's space for it.
Yeah.
But not most of the movie like it was in this one. Yeah. And it bothered me.
No, that's fair.
A lot.
That's fair. No, I get what you mean. Not having a background in theater, but just being a pretentious asshole. Mm-hmm. My biggest issue with this movie is that its politics don't make any fucking sense. The movie chooses to talk about beans. The game doesn't
anyway.
It actively chose to do it, which I can respect on the one hand, but it also doesn't choose to say anything, which makes it fucking annoying.
Did you really expect anything else from an Ubisoft title?
I didn't say I expected it, but I'm saying from where I'm sitting, if I was given, hey, make Mafia the card game, but into a movie, and then you said it in a small town in New England that features a lot of beans about race and gender and shit and oil, lots of oil. I would like to think I could come up with something a little bit more coherent than this that actually says something. Yeah, but this one, whereas every kind of decent thing it vaguely gestures at, it then counters it by being like false equivalence every 3 seconds, and just being like, guys, actually no, it's not that, and it's like, well, that's stupid. That's not even just I don't agree with the movie's politics. The movie's politics are retarded, you know?
Yes.
If you're agreeing with me, then we know I'm right, you know?
I stopped paying attention because it was faking itself out so many times. It's like, all right, I've lost interest. You're not going to say anything. You're just talking.
Yeah, no. By the end of it, it was just like, oh, meh.
Yeah.
The two leads were fine.
Yep, they were great.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I would go great, but I do like...
They were putting an effort in.
Especially in comparison to the rest of the cast.
Yep.
There was more I would say maybe 50% of the humor worked for me. I wasn't wheezing at anything. I was doing a lot of like I was doing the semi-ironic Lamau. They did a woman joke, so I'm gonna laugh really hard at it.
No, there was one that you wheezed at for sure.
Which one was that?
It was the gay guy in the woods trying to sound intimidating.
Oh yeah. Because that was good. That was good.
Right. You wheezed.
There was a couple of solid jokes. I think most of it had a lot more to do with the delivery than it had to do with the joke in and of itself. Because it's like, let's make the lispy bottom twink do big man voice, and he sounds pathetic. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's a lot more delivery than it is the written joke itself is like hilarious. It didn't look very good.
No, it was definitely a cheap budget.
Oh yeah, no. It didn't look like a fan film. Nope. You know, that wasn't that bad, but it was definitely like it's sub double digit millions. Very cheap.
Oh yeah, very very cheap.
Very, you know, whatever.
I bet renting the named hotel was most of the budget.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And then getting the license from Ubisoft.
Yeah.
I would rather watch this over Sonic if I was sober. If we were drinking and it was like a party or whatever, I would rather watch Sonic because there's so many Lamau Reddit atheist jokes where it's like tips fedora, whatever. But like if I had to sit here and just watch it with no anything, this is at least maybe 2.7 out of 10 stimulating, whereas Sonic was like, I'm drooling and I'm only laughing because it's kind of stupid.
This landed under Ash Creed and above Uncharted, which is right above Sonic.
I think I have Uncharted lower on my list, but I agree with it. But I do agree with you. It is definitely under Assassin's Creed because I do just actually like that one.
I know you do.
But
our lists are very different anyway.
That is true, but it is weird. Again, it's weird that we can go and have like the same specific opinions about a thing and then still like put them on a list differently.
Yep.
And then also vice versa, where we'll disagree as to why something lands somewhere, but then we put it in the same spot.
I gave it 2.5 stars.
Holy fuck, man. Just, I open up my Letterboxd and 18 like reviewers I like are just like, yeah, Joker 2 is really fucking bad. Holy shit. Yeah, it's literally just, the cinematography is really pretty. It's very dumb.
Yep. Oh, you saw Megalopolis.
I did see Megalopolis.
And you gave it 3.5. I'm surprised.
I will elaborate not on this show about that.
Wow.
I have a need to defend my opinions on that one. It is not a good movie, but I respect it.
I've seen this review so much, and it makes me laugh every time.
It has big balls. I don't know if it's good, though.
That shit sucked mega cockless.
Yeah, no, it definitely did. I would put this between Sonic 2 and the Super Mario Brothers movie on my list. Methinks it's below Silent Hill and the most recent animated Mortal Kombat movie.
Wow.
But still above FNAF and Sonic and Warcraft and Uncharted.
Incredible. Our lists are so different.